may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Do any of you think you're living in a dimension different from the one you were born in? Like you were in some kind of accident, and all of a sudden everything is slightly different than you remember? Or you experienced your own death only for time to rewind to right before and you're fine? These glitch in the Matrix type stories are evidence for quantum immortality. Who knows how many times you've died in your lifetime only for your consciousness to be beamed to another dimension?
Be me. 16 at the time, at scout camp. Patrol leader, star rank if I recall correctly. It's about 7 in the morning right after we get up. Time to collect firewood. At this time, the only thing I remember is waking up, going through the motions with the opening call, and then the following. I'm on the ground. My friends and other scouts are circled above me, looking down at my face with worry. My scoutmaster is among them. He's calling my name. Anon. Anon. Can you hear me? Vision begins to darken. Feel serene. At peace despite the stressful imagery I'm facing. Wake up on the ground exactly where my dream took place. Except I'm facing the floor. Chin and teeth hurt. Figured I fainted and then everyone came to check on me. Ask around. The people I recall seeing gathered around me were off collecting firewood at the time. They hadn't seen me on the ground. One friend of mine said he saw me on the ground about 10 minutes earlier, but figured I was screwing with them, so they ignored me. Nobody saw me faint nor recalled what I was doing prior to that.
Two memories of dying. Hello/X/ I've wanted to contribute to this board for a while and finally gotten around to writing down 2 experiences that may be interesting enough to share. More of an open-ended glitch in the Matrix style, though. No spooky skeletons. So, I'll get to the point. I have 2 distinct memories from my childhood where I had the very real sensations of dying, and then nothing. The obvious and rational answer is that they were really messed up dreams. However, I have 1 or 2 reasons that might point to something a little more. I'll explain my reasoning after. For now, let me try to whittle down the text I have on the text editor and format it. Memory 1. The first memory is of being an extremely young child playing in the snow. Maybe 5 or 6 years old, having a blast in my front yard. It had snowed heavily and came nearly up to my waist. Excited to play with my temporary winter wonderland, I got on my winter gloves, pants, and coat and got to work. You kind of need to understand the front yard was divided between an upper level and a lower level, with a steep wall of cinder blocks dividing it up. My front yard's path had been shoveled and a huge snow mound was created right next to the wall of cinder. By huge, I mean it was higher and wider than me by a long shot. Naturally, being a child, I decided this mound would make a perfect snow castle, so I climbed on top from the higher part of the yard and got to work on hollowing out the inside. Well, I eventually made enough progress to stand full height in my castle. You might be able to predict where this goes next. Eventually, I was tired and wanted to get back inside the house, so I tried to get out. No dice. Like a little dumbass I had, I tired myself out too much making the damn thing to pull my own body out of it. And ice-cold snow isn't exactly great to grab onto for leverage. I had gotten myself stuck, quite literally digging myself into a hole. No problem, right? Just break the wall down. Also no dice. I quickly found out that the wall was much thicker than anticipated. Many minutes of scratching, grabbing, and pulling at snow to no avail. Snow turned to water and got in my gloves, chilling my hands to the bone. Finally, I pulled the child's last face in the hole and screamed as hard as I could for my mom to come save me. I screamed and screamed and screamed for help from anyone. Snake eyes. The seconds turned to minutes. Minutes became a dozen. My lungs ran out of warm air, being replaced by coldness which cuts like a knife. I remember slowly realizing nobody's going to come. One last surge of effort came, fueled by raw desperation. Throwing off my water-soaked gloves, I clawed at the snow until the cold became unbearable, and exhaustion finally got the better of me. I specifically remember collapsing, my body slowly losing feeling until oddly enough it began to feel warm, then hot, burning, then a feeling of immense relief. After that, nothing. The memory ends. The rational part of me says it has to be a dream. However, here's what bothers me. I remember having nightmares from that period of my life, aka being a little kid. They always had a common theme. There were always bizarre and weird weird fever dream abstractions like hiding from an evil Easter bunny, running from the guy in the commercial world. Always some abstract, spooky thing hunting me, and when it gets me, I get spooked and wake up. Always. This wasn't that. This was literally the experience of dying of hypothermia, not some spooky abstract monster chasing. No weird dream stuff like a pink sky or orange snow. Just making a snow fort, getting trapped and succumbing to the cold. I have trouble believing that any child's imagination is yet so realistic as to come up with such a cruel and harsh sensation. Along with of defeat and relief. I refuse to believe that my child's imagination was capable of replicating the sensation of succumbing to hypothermia without any kind of weird dream things. I can still feel the cold sinking into my fingertips when I think about it. A dream is the most plausible explanation. Still, I wonder if I really did die that day and got bailed out by divine intervention. Or maybe it was a faint recollection of a past life. I doubt I'll ever really know, and in a way it doesn't matter since I'm here anyways, for better or worse. The other memory I have. This one's not as long since it's pretty straightforward and easy to describe. My mother's side of the family used to rent out a park for families. Me and my older cousins were playing in a mildly strong creek nearby. Pulled under the current. Being swept under. Trying to hold my breath only for the current to force its way in anyways after a hit to the head. My lungs, oddly enough, burned hot from being filled with water. And that's where my memory ends. I don't even remember being rescued or anything like that. I asked my parents. Neither have any recollection of it happening at all. They are old now and can barely remember what was for lunch. No surprise there. Swept in the water and drowned. I wonder what really happened that day. Was it just another dream? Did a family member manage to get this time? If so, why don't I remember anything afterwards? I have such a hard time remembering almost any dream, but these two stick with me clear as day, just as clear as a memory. I have one more story for you, not really of the paranormal kind. Since I wanted to end this on a lighter note, it's actually quite funny in a screwed up way, as I really did put myself in real danger for a Yu-Gi-Oh card. But the reason I'm telling it is to paint a picture on the real plausibility of parental negligence, as it has indirectly put me in real shit danger before. Well, more danger than usual being a hapless boy left to wander a town with no parental supervision in a poor dead-end town near Philadelphia. So this was shortly after I started kindergarten. Essentially, one day I was with my parents at a discount store named Ollie's, and they had those machines which gave useless crap to kids for quarters. Well, my little eyes spotted a Yu-Gi-Oh card dispenser with a holographic card of some kind. I really wanted it, but I guess I was being a shithead that day because my parents didn't want to fork over the quarters and practically drag me out of the store. Never underestimate the lengths kids will go to get what they want, especially if it's a shiny piece of holographic plastic. Later in the day, they both leave me alone at the house while they leave for some reason. So begins my great plan. Step one was to walk 3 miles back to the store, crossing a major interstate route on the way. A 6-year-old, crossing an interstate, alone. Nothing wrong here, not obvious. Thank goodness I knew how to wait for traffic signs. Well, I made it to the place, got my card, and was brimming with victory. Then I started my way back, only to be pulled over by the police. Somehow I just knew it was for me. I guess I thought I was going to get arrested for whatever. Of course, some half-decent jerkwad probably saw a literal toddler crossing a major route on their own and decided something was sketchy. So I hid behind the electric pole, hoping they didn't see me. Well, they did, and the jig was up. There are about a dozen things that could have gone wrong that day, and it's frankly amazing I didn't get myself run over or abducted. What would have happened if I couldn't read traffic lights? The vivid image of mindlessly walking into traffic and being eviscerated comes to mind. Anywho, well, that's it. 2 memories of dreams too dark and real for a child's imagination to reasonably create out of nowhere, and a darkly funny story of a toddler on such a driven quest for shiny plastic, not even death would dare get in their way. I hope you liked it.
I'm old. Might as well tell someone else about the couple of times I died. First time was as a kid. Mid-70s, in the deep south. I'm around 6 years old. Riding down an old dirt road beside some fields on our way home from somewhere. seats front and back, no one wearing a seatbelt, the 70s. My cousins dislike me and my parents, always treat me like trash. I'm half asleep next to the door of the car. One of my cousins is lying on the seat next to me, taking up most of it. His feet in my side. His sister is sitting in front of him next to me. I start to doze off and hear them giggle. I heard the door click open and felt him kick me out of the car, hard. I recall rolling in the field as the car went by and hitting my head. Then I was about 10 feet away from my body. Saw the car stop. Now further from my body. People get out very slowly. Further still from my body. See something in the field with me. Big black dog, reddish eyes. Starts running towards me. I hear my mom screaming from far away. The dog snags me and drags me back. Next thing I know, my mom's wrapped around me, blood from my head everywhere. She's screaming at the cousins and their parents. I don't recall passing out, but I must have woken up in my bed. We still don't speak to those relatives. Saw that dog once more, many years later, in totally different circumstances though. Second time, I was much older. 90s. Still deep south. Living in a single wide on a rented lot. Work shift work, whatever I could, mostly third shift for the pay. Wife of about 7 years had just bailed for some guy she met at work. Had just found out that I was also broke. She'd been spending the bill money on her new man. Really broke, like not gonna make it broke. Decided the easiest way out was to just stop being. Had an old Jennings 9mm my dad had won in a poker game. More of a hammer than a gun, but it worked just fine. Spent the whole day cleaning the house. Wrote a note. Put up plastic on and behind the sofa. Sat down, made sure everything was as clean and tidy as it could be. Chambered the round. Put it under my chin. My mom wouldn't like it if she couldn't see me one last time. Pulled the trigger. I felt the heat and pressure of the bullet as it came out of my head. Hear a sound too loud and god-awful noise. It's me screaming. On my sofa, gun had misfired. Hose reeked of Clorox. Hands burned from where I'd scrubbed them raw cleaning. Got up, looked at the gun. Walked outside onto the deck. Most beautiful day I'd ever seen. I could see individual leaves on the trees. Everything was alive and it was amazing. Then the gun went off, blowing a hole in the porch. That snapped me out of it. Called some friends. They came and helped me sort it out. A few months later, I left, and life was never better. This just brought back a memory of a time I attempted myself. I put that in quotes. Well, I'll just green text it. I think it was 16. I remember I was in high school, going through a large spell of depression. Addicted to opioids, no real friends. When I ran out of my pills, I was desperate for something, some kind of high. Learned that if you choke yourself to the brink of passing out, then let go, you get this rush. Almost never a good time, mostly filled with panic. Didn't matter, was something. Got to the point where I would take one of those big power cords like you would have for a monitor or PC and tie a noose in my closet, choke myself with that. Where it hung was too low to properly hang myself, so I would just lean forward. Because of my depression, my thoughts were that I can get my high, and if it works too well, I die, win-win. Of course, one time I go too far. I just remember fading out, tunnel vision fading to blackness. Last thing I saw before it was all black was my bass guitar from across the room. Suddenly snapped back to myself flailing and hanging from the cord. Managed to get a solid foothold on the floor and stood up enough to relieve the around me. Total panic, barely conscious, and I just remember trying to scream help me, over and over. Hugged fully and have to cut the cord off my neck because it had gotten so tight. Walk solemnly over to my desk to sit down and contemplate what just happened. Bass guitar right next to me. Proceed to bawl my eyes out over it as the thought that I'd never be able to make music again if I didn't get up. Never attempted self-termination ever again and made a promise to myself that I never would. The depression still comes and goes, but I've gotten a lot better at handling it. Been on a wild spiritual journey for the past year and a half, and it's helped a lot. Also, as I typed this, I realized that I've never really told anyone about this.
I have this memory that barely even feels real, although I know for a fact it happened. Amy is maybe 10 to 11ish years old around Christmas time. Have to go to this Nutcracker play, musical, I think because my sister was in it. The whole time I feel like total crap. I'm cold as an icicle and sweating. On top of that, my mom made me wear church clothes. Complained to mom about how I feel, but she blows me off, either because she thinks I'm overreacting to the room temp or because she thought I wanted to leave. Play is over, we drive home. The sickness has only been getting worse, and by the time we get home I feel like a walking corpse. Dad finally decides to take my temperature because of all my complaining. The thermometer reads 104.7. Oh great, that's high. Mom starts freaking out a bit. I think she went to her room to cry. Dad takes me up to my room, tucks me into my bed under several blankets, asks me if I want him to read me a book. I think I said yes, and he whips out this old-ass copy of Starship Troopers. He starts reading. I instantly start to nod off. Kisses my forehead, says he loves me, leaves the room. Knocked out cold instantly. Wake up the next morning. Feel completely fine. No residual sick feeling at all, as if I hadn't been sick as a sick dog last night. Nobody talks about last night, not even me. Never brought up again. Still have that copy of Starship Troopers. I get this weird feeling every time I remember this, like I wasn't supposed to wake up that morning. Might ask my parents about it when I get the chance.
The concept of quantum immortality states that you never experience your own death, but others do on your previous timeline, and simply slide into the next timeline or realm. I'm assuming that when you live your full life, then eventually you experience death, and all fractions of yourself come to completion. Pretty much guarantees you will live a full life. It also puts a silver lining on those who died. They didn't have that experience, even though you did. I find this kind of disturbing, to be honest. That means that any perceived near-miss created either a new timeline or the potential for your superconsciousness to shift focus to another timeline.
Quantum in this case refers to quantum mechanics. The study of quantum mechanics relates to the building blocks of our universe. The theory of quantum immortality could more accurately be described as a combination of superpositioning and the uncertainty principle. Superpositioning in its most basic form is the combination of two states at the same time. To move a wheel both rotates and translates. In quantum mechanics, it's used to describe the unique characteristics of light as both a particle and wave, which leads into the uncertainty principle. Unlike most superpositioned objects, light has the unique ability to change its form as it's observed. It's in a flux state until it's checked upon. Think Schrödinger's cat. The theory of quantum immortality proposed the idea we might all be in a relative flux state in between life and death. You could have died in a number of ways while reading this post, but you, hopefully, still exist in spite of those possibilities. Quantum immortality presumes that your true death is just one of infinite possibilities, with you being along for the ride. One death leads to another life, and so on. Personally, it's difficult for me to believe your memories and thoughts would transfer realistically, as the human mind can only hold so much biological memory before forgetting it.
When I was 15, I narrowly avoided getting hit by a dump truck that ran a red light. I was jogging across the road and suddenly I unconsciously stopped in my tracks. If I had kept running or stopped a fraction of a second later, I would have been dead. I remember thinking how odd it was that I wasn't scared or shaken up, even though I've never been closer to certain death. When I found out about quantum immortality, I thought of that incident. I don't feel like my life has gotten worse or better, and nothing about the world has changed in any noticeable way. I just don't run across the road anymore, and I try to keep a close eye on all the cars around me. I still almost get hit once or twice a year just because I spend a lot of time walking around town, and people here think drunk driving is the national pastime.
I've had this same thought. There seems to have been a change sometime around 2012 to 2016. The thought that I have died has occurred to me. Also possibly the original world ended at that time. Some of us were transported to another Earth-like planet. This would explain a lot of Mandela effects, namely, the sun being white instead of yellow, days and time being different, and changes in geography. There are also anatomical changes in the human body, so maybe our consciousnesses were moved to new bodies as well. Or we're in a simulation. Who or what is responsible for this? Why? How? It seems we are intentionally kept from knowing. I'm not convinced it's hell, although the world as a whole seems to be getting worse and worse. My personal life continuously improves and becomes more heaven-like. I've thought perhaps it is some kind of purgatory. Like when I reach the end of this new fake life, then the final decision of heaven or hell will be made. I have noticed correlations between sin, lack of awareness, and feeling an absence of the divine presence.
Most people have this kind of classical mindset and framework when talking about quantum dimensions and timelines, which is incorrect. Every person at every moment in their lives move down their respective timelines and shifts continuously. If you, at one point in time, feel like you had shifted timelines from the primary one you had been progressing on, it was either due to a sudden increase in your awareness that allowed you to observe the shifts which had already been happening, or a major event happening in your life caused a timeline cluster shift to create a new branch, and it was so impactful that your awareness was brought to the surface more easily. Quantum immortality in this context means living down a timeline path which extends your life the most, that is dying of old age at 120. Many external factors can prevent you from going down this path, but it is very possible to circumvent them using the will of your spirit, your higher self, and your sharpened awareness alone.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more dream texts will appear daily. New broadcasts will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.